desde Las Vegas, Nevada. Iniciamos con el programa Hablando de bienes y raíces con Castillo y sus invitados. Comenzamos.
Muy buenos días, Las Vegas. ¿Cómo están? Yo soy Castillo. Estamos dándole bienvenida a su programa Hablando de bienes raíces. Hoy día, jueves, marzo 20. Increíble cómo se está pasando el tiempo. Les quiero dar la bienvenida a todos ustedes una vez más por sintonizar. Estamos aquí en el estudio de Lawyer's Title. We have very great guests all the time. But today I am very proud and very happy to have these two guests in my studio. Because it's not every day that you have very important people that I believe together, because I know you guys are extremely busy. So we're going to get started, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Vikki. Vikki, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Thanks for having.
Not a problem. And also we have Claudia. Claudia, good morning.
Hi, buenos dias. Good morning.
How's everybody doing?
Fabulous.
Fantastic.
Perfect. So if you guys want to please let people know how long you guys been in the industry, what role in the industry do you guys play, and then also if you guys want to talk about your executive role as well, please. So we'll start with Vikki. Vikki, por favor.
Okay, yeah. So I'm Vikki Gonzalez. I have been in the industry for about 20 years. I started on property management at the corporate level. Then I moved over and got my real estate license in 2015. So I've been around a minute.
Nice. And Claudia, por favor.
Claudia Kilbride, and I was in lending for 16 years prior moving to real estate 7 years ago. So pretty much I've been in this industry for the last 20 years plus.
That's great, because I've been in the industry for a little bit over 24 years, believe it or not. It's crazy. But, this is an industry that just kind of like, you get involved with it, and for some reason, it just keeps you engaged. And one of the things that I want to talk about is yesterday, the Fed, right? Jerome Powell came out and said, hey, we're not moving the interest rate. And everybody's acting like that's news. But we knew this 6 months ago, right?
Yes.
Do you guys feel that that's going to impact the real estate market as it is right now? Because from what I see, and correct me as I'm wrong, because both of you guys are real estate agents, I see that there's a lot more inventory coming online. There's more willingness from the listing agents and the selling and then the sellers, to be able to give more incentives towards the buyers. So right now it's really a good opportunity for the buyers to buy. And that by not having the interest rate move up and down, it's actually a really good thing in my eyes. I don't know. Can you guys give me your input on that?
Well, how I feel about that is regardless where our interest rate is at, when buyers are ready to buy, they're going to buy. Regardless, everyone has that perception of buyers are like, oh, when I'm ready, I'm not ready. When they're ready, they're going to buy.
Correct.
Yes, inventory is good. I always ask everybody, my clients, when they ask, when's a good time to buy? I will say when you are ready to buy is a good time to buy. Because it's a big decision, the biggest decision they're going to make in their life. So regardless of where rates are, when you're ready, you're going to do it.
Right. Claudia, what do you think? The same thing?
I agree. I think that, 5 years ago was a good time to buy, so today is a good buy. It's a good time to buy. So the inventory goes up and down, but really we don't have much inventory as a lot of people think. Everything's going off the shelves. Investors are here. So I always tell my clients, get in. If you can, please get in.
Okay, so a las personas que nos están escuchando, no hay que esperar. No. Si tienes la oportunidad de comprar, compra, porque sabemos de que los precios no van a bajar. Históricamente, aquí en Las Vegas han subido los precios de un 5 a un 7% anualmente, ¿no? Estamos viendo proyecciones de las personas que saben más que nosotros, que la proyección del incremento de los valores de las propiedades en los próximos 3 a 5 años van a ser un 12 a un 15%. Correcto. Right? So, Claudia, si tú tienes un comprador que va a ver casas y dice, déjala pienso, ¿qué le dices en ese momento?
Básicamente les digo, ¿qué tienes que pensar?
Claro.
Tienes que analizar cuánto pagas de renta y cuánto vas a ganar en equity. O sea, en
la plusvalía.
Nada, cero. So, ¿qué hay que pensar? Hay que pensar en que hay que invertir y que tienes que ser... básicamente para tu generación, tienes que empezar a ayudar a tu generación a tener una inversión.
Claro.
So, básicamente los pongo a pensar, o sea, que no hay que pensar, si puedes comprar, esta es tu oportunidad.
Claro que sí. And Vikki, what do you say about that?
No, I agree with her. I think the best thing to do is be a homeowner, not a renter. You have so many more benefits. And yes, the generational wealth in your family is so important because you have something to leave your family. Real estate is the best investment.
Right.
It moves along with the generations.
Correct.
And then it also teaches, our generations to purchase on their own. It's great. For example, like in my family, we have a family property that my grandparents purchased. It's still in our family.
Right.
And it's going to go down generation to generation. And the biggest thing that was left in the wills is it stays in the family.
Right. That's a great
thing.
thing.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Good.
You're not allowed to sell it. It stays in the family.
Right. Yes, and that's really important because obviously you guys are here also not only as real estate professionals, but also you guys are here because, Vikki, you are the 2025 president of NAREP Greater Las Vegas.
Correct.
And Claudia, you are the incoming vice president of NAREP Greater Las Vegas. And one of the things that NAREP always teaches is generational wealth. How can we help our Hispanic community create more money with the money that they're making, right? And Vikki, you just came back from a trip back home,
yes.
Right? You visited your childhood neighborhood. you visit your childhood home, and that just speaks volumes of, what, your parents, your mom just bought a house and said, what, this is where we're gonna stay we're gonna set our roots in, and what, you're able now with your kids go back and your grandkids to go back and visit that childhood home, which is a generational thing that you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. It's the same, except the flooring.
Exactly.
But it's the same neighborhood. It's beautiful. It's the memories, all the memories that you have, the memories that my children are having. It stays in the home. We visit my mom, little repairs here and there when we go and visit, but it's still there.
Right.
And that's the beauty of generational wealth. And it's also, like I said, my mom showed me, about it. Porque los Latinos tenemos que tener algo de nuestra cultura.
Claro.
Las memorias de Navidad, del Día de Pavo, I have all of those memories in my head of what we did.
Right. And Claudia, I know that you've helped thousands of people, not only doing mortgages, but also with real estate, which it's the same thing, right? You're not only just, helping them purchase a home, you're helping them set up the wealth that is going to come in the future. When you have those conversations with your buyers and they understand that it's not just about buying a home, it's about, creating wealth for the future, doesn't that make you feel like, you're doing something empowering for them?
Absolutely. Especially in the culture of being a Mexican, but I know all Latin Americans, we all are proud to be homeowners in America. And if you can achieve that dream, it's something to be, proud of. And that's why I always tell my clients, it's always good that you help your children to, as well, if you can, until they're on their feet, for them to be owners as well.
Right.
Because it's important for them to know, like Vikki said, it's important to be a homeowner in this country. If you don't have, eventually everything goes up and you're not going to be able to buy and afford anything. So, and that's exactly what we're looking at these. I'm telling you, I had clients prior pandemic and they were like, no, we're going to wait until the pandemic because the prices are going to go down. And I was like, where are you getting this information? Because do you have a crystal ball that I don't see? Because everything points at it, and we don't know for sure what's going to happen. For the contrary, things are going to go up.
Yeah.
So sure enough, they weren't able to get into anything after that. So I got sad just to think about them. But And I don't want to feel like, oh, I told you so, but I just wish that they would have listened, and they don't listen. And that's why we're professionals, and people don't see us like we're just like, oh, they just want to sell a house and they just want to make a paycheck.
Right.
But no, like if they just get to know us, that we're trying to help. It's not that, you can go to with anybody, but buy.
Yeah.
So that's what I tell them.
And
I agree.
That's really important because, again, right, we're looking at the stats. We're looking at the data, right? And yesterday the Fed came out and said we're not moving the interest rate because we see everything that's still kind of like, trying to figure out. We don't know we're going to go in a recession and we're going to have an inflation. They're trying to figure out how to do the national economy, right? How to save it. And yet here we are trying to figure out, like, if I qualify to buy, should I buy? Like, no, yes, you should buy, right? You should buy. Because again, the equity that you're building, la plusvalía que la casa hace en el futuro, tu generación la vas a poder utilizar, o la generación que te sigue, que son tus hijos, tus nietos. It's very important. So let's talk about NAREP, right?
Oh, NAREP.
NAREP, right? And NAREP Greater Las Vegas, right? Because one of the things is, and I'm very proud because I'm also a board member, so I'm a little biased on this one, but, can you explain to us the newest revelation that we received from National saying about our chapter, right? And it's very cool. I mean, it's really cool to talk about it. So, Vikki, can you please?
So we here at the Greater Las Vegas chapter are a finalist, a nominee for Chapter of the Year, which is a great honor because there's 120 chapters.
Right.
And we are part of being recognized for something amazing. We work really hard out here. We try to be different. There's always the wheel that spins, but we change that wheel a little bit,
right,
and do our own little thing. We're always about leveling up at our chapter, and we have an amazing board. Our board, they're fire. We have amazing people on the board that are all about the NAREP mission.
Correct.
We want to educate the community and empower the community to purchase. So everyone get ready for what we're bringing. We're not just doing the 4 anchor events per year. We're bringing workshops.
Right.
We're bringing education. We are here to help our industry and help our Latino community become homeowners. I'm excited because, I have this beautiful lady that's at my site this year as VP, and, we're just ready to bring the fire.
Right. and I know that, I'm sorry to put you on the spot, Claudia, but vice presidents get put on the spot all the time. But I know for a fact that we're having a workshop coming up in April the 10th.
Correct.
Can we talk a little bit about the importance for our members and also our non-members? All of you guys that always wonder, what does NAREP do for our community? Can we talk a little bit about what that event is going to take place? I mean, what is going to be doing for our community and for our members out there, Claudia, please?
Well, we're pretty much wants to educate. We want to educate our fellow realtors and industry around. I mean, they don't have to be realtors to attend. They don't have to be Latinos to attend.
Great point.
We went to an event at LVR, and everybody's like, "Oh, I'm not Mexican," or "I'm not, I'm not part of it." And I'm like, no. Vikki and I were like, "You are part of it. You're a realtor. You need to know. You have to be educated. Have to deal with Latino." Clients or, all of the issues that right now we're having about immigration. That's what the workshop's going to be talking about. We need to be informed of steps that will save our clients or, educate them. And no, you're not going to be, your house is not going to be taken away from you. This is the process. This is what an attorney will explain. And I mean, there's so many things. I don't know what else you want to.
It's about, you can be a homeowner and be an immigrant.
Exactly. And actually, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I am going to put it up. I'm going to put the flyer that, that Save the Day flyer that we have for people to understand what this is all about. And literally, I love, because collectively we decided the how to name this project, right? How to name this event. And literally it's called Building Wealth Without Borders, Immigration and Real Estate. And I think that speaks volumes because right now we know for a fact that our, immigration policies are being pushed. our community is really being scared. And that's why a lot of people don't want to buy. And we're like, no, if you have the opportunity to buy, you should buy. And then, if something happens, there should be a plan to fix it, right? To create it, to make sure that you don't lose anything. We're going to have a real estate attorney here. We're going to have a real estate agent that deals with IT numbers. I mean, we're going to have really informational people that are working right now in this environment. Isn't that correct, Vikki?
Correct. We're going to have people that are there to inform you on what's going on so you can answer your clients. We have clients that have purchased under I-10 and they're like, well, what's going to happen?
Yes.
We have people that are scared and nobody realizes it. So we just want to prepare our community, here in Vegas, for our agents out here to be prepared. Like, these are the answers you can give. We have professionals that work on this. We have an attorney who's specializing in these things to answer your questions. So it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a Latino or Latina. Just come, get educated, make the connection so that Las Vegas is our home.
Yes.
We want our community to feel safe.
Correct. And, it's really important for people to, again, right, understand that if we educate the agent, we educate the real estate professional, the loan officer, right? We're not attorneys. We could not tell you, hey, you know what, you're going to be safe and everything. No, we're not attorneys. That's why we're inviting the top the top immigration attorney. We're inviting people that deal with this on a day-to-day basis to educate our agents, to make sure that they understand that the information that they are getting is up to date. Because unfortunately, what was good last 6 months ago, it doesn't apply anymore. Right,
Correct.
Vikki?
Everything changes. And that's why you have, people like us that are constantly getting educated, finding out what's going on. We're going to find out a lot of things on policies because we're going to DC.
Yes, we are.
The people in this room right now, we're booked and ready to go to DC to get more information to bring back to our community.
Right. And let's talk a little bit about that trip to DC, right? Because the people that are listening to us are like, well, what does DC have to do with me, right? What does NARIP have to do with me? Especially the consumer, especially you, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller. Why is this important? Because we are the largest Hispanic real estate professional organization out there. Like Vikki said, we're 120 chapters nationwide. We're over 65,000 members nationwide. And it's important for you to understand that if your agent is part of NARIP, right, that they are getting the up-to-date information and best education. So we're going to Washington, D.C. because it's a national convention, right, Vikki?
Correct.
Can you explain to people the grandest of that thing, please?
Well, it's all about home ownership. It's about letting us know the policies. When we have these big national events where we all come together, especially in DC, we get to meet, the top people in FHA. Giving us information. So we're getting straight numbers, the statistics, correct information for our community. And that's why it's so important that we attempt to bring it back. We get to meet with our representatives for our state and discuss with them, like, what's going on.
Right.
What are we going to do in Nevada? How are we helping all the constituents there? So us going and being able to represent our state, it's a big deal. It's a lot bigger than people think. Yeah. And we're going to be in those rooms to ask those questions.
I remember last year, Vikki, one of the speakers in the in one of the sessions was the head of Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae.
Yes.
And she was talking about how the importance of the Hispanic buying power is something that they could not stop. They know we're a big community, right? They know that right now we're looking at people that are purchasing homes that are much younger than any other, demographic.
Right. Latinos are the top home purchasers.
Yes.
We're leading in the nation. And Latinas,
Oh, yes.
single Latina women are the top purchasers of homes.
Right.
So, within our community, we're doing great things when it comes to the statistics of home buying. It's important that everyone be educated about it because, Latinas, our younger generations, they're learning.
Yep.
They're learning the game. And they're learning the numbers and they're buying these houses. They're learning about, hey, let me wait a little bit. I can take equity out of this and go buy something else.
Exactly.
So I'm just saying, when we come back with these statistics, the updated ones, it's going to be a game changer for our community as well.
Right. And this
Absolutely.
is please, Claudia, and please, this is your first time going to Washington D.C.
Correct.
Right?
I'm excited.
And I'm telling you, you come back with such a great information because NAREP National has done all the homework for us. They have been tracking all of the data for the past year. Because last year we had that, the report for 2023, 2024. Now they're going to have the report from 2024, 2025. And the growth factor of the Latino community buying homes, the younger generation buying homes, right? And we still have a lot of people, like I said, this is the reason why we're having this event about immigration, where we're telling people, don't let your immigration status stop you from buying a home in the United States. ¿Cuánta gente tú conoces, Claudia, que pueden decir, yo soy dueño de un pedacito de los Estados Unidos siendo latino y no teniendo una residencia o no teniendo una ciudadanía americana, ¿no?
Sí, muchas personas y ellos son los que no fallan, tienen su casa impecable y no tienen ese deseo de progresar. Y no todos, mucha gente lo toma, ¿cómo se dice? Granted, for granted.
Absolutely.
Aquí, y los latinos por lo regular son muy orgullosos de tener. Por eso es una de las razones, me explico, que somos la mayoría que tienen casa, que están comprando casa. Y los jóvenes es una generación donde ven que es la única manera que puedes progresar aquí porque no quieren rentar toda su vida. Y es importante para nosotros también como mamás enseñar a nuestros hijos que tienen que cuidar su patrimonio y que van a ser de ellos, especialmente en este país que todo el mundo quiere emigrar aquí. Estamos aquí.
Fíjate que bien curioso porque estábamos hablando con Vikki fuera del aire y estamos hablando de la diferencia entre los hijos y los hijos y las hijas, ¿no? Y Vikki dijo algo muy, muy curioso. Go ahead, Vikki, you need to think about it. Dijo algo muy, muy curioso, que uno de mujer nunca deja de enseñar. Nunca deja de enseñar. Uno de hombre, estamos aquí para que nos enseñen, ¿no? Para que nos digan, para que nos corrigen. You want to grab some water? Estamos aquí para que nos corrigen. Desde chiquitos las mamás nos enseñan y nos podemos decir sin ofender a nadie, nos ponen en una media burbuja porque las mamás quieren lo mejor para sus hijos, ¿no? Pero las mujeres siempre continúan de demostrar. Ellas siempre están, enseñando. No dejan de enseñar, aunque ustedes ya son mamás de niños grandes, enseñan a sus nietos. Vikki,
No, eso es cierto porque mira, yo como ya soy abuelita, estoy viendo que mis hijos, mira, tengo hijas que ya tienen sus familias. Tengo un hijo que está en la casa, tiene 8 años. Tengo la otra de 14. Todo el día les estoy enseñando. Ahora, siendo abuelita, le estoy enseñando a mi hija cómo ser mamá. Le voy a estar enseñando a my little baby, like, the baking, the cooking. Ya como mujer, paramos de tener hijos, pero no paramos de estar enseñando cómo las cosas. El trabajo nunca se para.
No.
Pero es algo bonito.
Sí.
Y como dices ese ejemplo, le tenemos que enseñar a nuestros hijos. Mira, mi hija tiene su casa. Compró su primera casa en Oklahoma cuando tenía 23 años.
Wow.
Chiquita.
Qué bueno.
Tiene 26 años y ya tiene su townhouse aquí. Ya son 2 propiedades.
Yeah.
Sí, aquí el choque de cultura fue para mí que que, por ejemplo, en México, o sea, no, cómete la comida, aquí en los restaurantes, esto es lo que hay, y aquí los niños, ¿qué quieren comer? ¿Pizza o esto, el otro y el otro? ¿Verdad? O sea, como que no, ellos no captan que, no, esto va a haber de comer, lo tienen que acabar porque hay niños pobres en el mundo que no tienen que comer.
Y no hay McDonald's, hay casa.
Entonces, pero ahora el otro día me sacó la risa mi hijo porque mi niña dice, mami, mira, me acabé mi comida. Tú siempre me dices que me acabé mi comida. O sea que es latino todo eso porque con la familia de mi ex esposo es diferente. Desperdician. Es una cultura diferente.
Sí, y una vez más, aclarando y volviendo a ser específicos en educar a nuestras generaciones que vienen a que sean dueños de casas.
Exacto.
Y no tenemos que ser dueños de una mansión.
No.
Porque una casa de 200, 300 mil, 400 mil dólares te va a dar más plusvalía igual que una casa de 5 o 6 millones de dólares, ¿no?
Cierto.
La cosa es de que tú inviertas y compres.
Sí.
Porque ese dinero en un futuro, seamos sinceros, si la gente que no debió de perder sus casas en el 2008, cuando las perdieron, porque el compadre le dijo, no, déjala que te la quiten y compre, que no sé qué. Imagínate, en aquellos entonces los precios están a 180, ¿no? 150 se podían conseguir casas. Imagínate ahorita los valores que existen. El precio medio aquí en el Valle de Las Vegas está a $495,000. Estamos hablando casi $300,000 de plusvalía con una persona que compró su casa en el 2008, no hizo nada, Tomás continuó de pagar sus pagos, tiene más de $300,000, $400,000 de plusvalía en 20 años, en menos de 20 años. Son 14 años, ¿no? Entonces, eso es lo que la gente no entiende. Ellos piensan que el dinero va a ser instantáneo y no, es a largo plazo, ¿no, Claudia?
Correcto, y todo sube, todo está subiendo y ve en California cómo está todo.
Yes.
O sea,
Eso, en
entonces
California.
estamos pegaditos y fuimos a un evento de la Asociación de Realtors y hay como proyectos aprobados de construcción, nos quedamos con los ojos cuadrados de todo lo que viene a Las Vegas. ¿Y tú crees que van a bajar los precios? No, mucha gente está esperando que ya me voy a esperar a que bajen los precios.
No,
¿Sabes?
van a
Todos los
bajar.
proyectos que están multimillonarios para aprobar aquí en Las Vegas y también el land, hablaron de que no hay mucho land para construir, así que todo va a seguir subiendo. No hay indicación alguna que diga que van a bajar las casas,
No va a
ninguna.
bajar.
Y eso me preocupa con mucha gente que está esperando y que está esperando. Compren ya.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, with California, because that's my home, the property that my grandparents purchased, they purchased it for $120,000. It's a property that's like in Echo Park. Okay? Near Elysian Park, Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
$120,000. 2 houses on one lot, has a swimming pool.
Wow.
That property now, today, is worth $4.3 million.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay? 120. And back in their day, that was a lot of money.
Right. Well, it's relative, right? Because, yo he tenido conversaciones con gente que dice, well, back in the day, the houses were cheap. I'm like, yeah, but the salaries were cheap. The minimum, the minimum, employment money, right? What you were making minimum wage was $3.25.
It's true. My grandmother
Right.
was a teamster. She sewed in a factory. She worked in a factory.
Right. So again, right? It's all relative. Yes, right now the houses are more expensive, but you got people in McDonald's making $20 an hour, and they're like, "Oh my God, you know what? It's expensive." No, you're making more money. So everything is relative. The bottom line is, if you don't buy, you're not gonna be able to have that wealth that is sticking with the price homes,
Exactly.
right?
It's important because land doesn't change. All you can do when you have a property, you upgrade it. And the value goes up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, also, a lot of people don't stay over like 5 years in their
Right.
properties.
That is correct.
They like to move to better places.
That's why you make it a rental property.
Or make it a rental property and invest in a new
Yes.
one. because obviously you're going to have a better interest rate because you purchased it when they were really low. Historic low. We have to specify historic lows, because we always say this is not going to happen. Buy, and people were still there. It's gonna. I mean, people look at us like we just don't know anything, you know, and it upsets me sometimes because I'm like, I mean, these
because
people they're listening to the neighbor, to the comadre, yes, but not to the people that we see the numbers daily, that we talk about it in meetings, and we see the stats.
We're trained. We're educated on it.
You know, it's like, oh my God.
No, and you're right, Claudia. You know, a lot of people, you know, prefieren escuchar el consejo del compadre, que, you know, no quiere que compres o está celoso de que vas a comprar una casa, right? And, you know, we're looking at stats. I mean, like you said, you guys went to the LVR event and they talked about all the new projects that are coming in. Claudia, tú misma lo dijiste. Para el 2032 ya no va a haber tierra disponible para construcción aquí en el Valle de Las Vegas. Ya están pensando a comenzar a construir afuera de Las Vegas. Sí. De lo que yo sé es de que están comenzando a construir el aeropuerto internacional en Jean, Nevada. Ajá. Eso es un proyecto que tiene 20 años que han estado hablando y ya
está aprobado.
Ya está aprobado. So the growth of the valley is
Jean, Sandy Valley.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Pahrump.
Yep.
You know, Pahrump no es lo que era hace 10 años ahora. You know, you go to Pahrump.
Like, I wish I would have bought land when it was like 30,000.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, because Pahrump is popping.
Should have, could have, would have.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, es muy importante para que, you know, for everybody to understand that, you know, not only we're real estate professionals, that we see these data coming in week by week, day by day on the real estate side, but also being part and an executive board of NARIP, you get very specific data when it comes down to the Hispanic market. And again, like Claudia said, you don't have to be Hispanic to service our Hispanic community, but you need to understand our culture, which are two different things, I think.
Yes, and we let you know our culture. We're empowering you to help.
Exactly.
You know, and we all know, like, in our Latino communities, trust is so important. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what's going on and you can't convince a Latino, it's not happening.
And Vikki, you said it. It's not the Latino, it's the Latina.
Yes.
At the end of the day, they're the woman. The women are the one that makes the decision of, you know, you know, if we're gonna buy this home or not. If you really think about it, right?
Well, we're trending. What can we say?
But you know what? In all fairness, Claudia, I think it's about time.
Yeah.
Right? You guys look at the world in a different manner. You guys are looking not only at the now, you're looking at the future, and you're looking at the history, right? You know, if I buy this home here, what has happened in the past 5-10 years, right? What's going to happen in the next 5 years? We as men, we're just looking at it. We just bought a home. Does it have a backyard? Because that's the thing I have to worry about.
And
right?
a good garage.
Right. But there's so many other things, so many other layers that you guys have to look at when they're buying. So I guess this message is really to the Latina woman that is thinking of her family should buy a home. Call
us,
right?
Buy that home. Don't be scared. You know, we're fearless as it is. Yeah. You know, if we're going to jump and do it, we're going to do it.
Right.
There's no turning back. But call us.
Right.
You know, because we're the type, we can guide you.
Right. What number can they reach you at, Vikki and Claudia, if somebody's thinking of giving you guys a call?
So I can be reached at 818-294-5855.
Perfect. And Claudia?
702-771-0696.
Perfect. And again, we're looking at the way that the trend of the market is going. We're looking at right now, there's a little bit more stable inventory. Yeah. You know, I had this conversation with many of agents, and, you know, el compadre chismoso que sabe lo todo. Dice, I know, que dice, es que el mercado se está viniendo para abajo. No, we're having a price correction, and they're two different things. Right? Si el mercado se está corrigiendo es porque un montón de agentes de bienes raíces no tuvieron los cojones de decirle a sus vendedores, este es el precio de vender. No, pongámosle $20,000 más y ahora estamos viendo la corrección de ese mercado. ¿Sí o no, Claudia?
Correcto. Por lo regular en las casas más viejitas lo estamos viendo más. Porque obviamente quieren oro, ¿verdad? Pero se tiene que ajustar al precio que es. Y acuérdate que también todo lo que se ha vendido alrededor, por 6 meses, la evaluación está basada en esas comparables. Entonces, Ni modo. Aunque le hayan metido lo que han metido, a veces no lo sacan porque metieron más de lo que las propiedades se están vendiendo alrededor.
Muy buen punto, eh? Vikki, what do you think about that, correction? Besides, the difference between correction and the price, the market is bottoming out.
No, it's the correction. At the beginning when we get the listings, you have to have that hard conversation with your seller and tell them, look, I know that's what you would like, but this is the reality. This is where we're at. This is what's comping out for you.
Right.
We can put it at that amount, but I'll only do that if you're going to drop the price when I'm telling you we don't have anything in 3 days, 5 days. Like, it has to come down.
Right.
That's why we have the price adjustments. But it's just really talking to your client, the seller, telling them, look, my job is to look out for your best interest. And this is where we're at.
Right.
This is what's going to best suit you. This is what's going to sell your home. So it's have the conversations. Don't be scared to lose a listing.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you. You should see how many times I get to see with real estate agents. They're like, oh my God, I need a property profile on this new listing I'm gonna get, and I look at the property profile before because I'm nosy that way. I love data. I love to know what's happening in the market. I mean, I bear it down to how much is your seller willing to sell for dollar per square footage, and how many agents like, what does that mean?
Oh my God.
De verdad, se los digo, es algo increíble. But at the end of the day, it's like, look, you know what? You got to look at what the price is. But let's be honest. Your seller could say, this is how much money I want. But the one who really sets the price is the buyer. The buyer is willing to say, hey, this is how much I'm willing to pay. And those are two different points of view, right, Claudia?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of factors. But agents, obviously, there's bad ones out there, So just maybe it's a good time to start shopping around as well, your realtor, and get like a second opinion or third opinion like a doctor.
Yeah.
Because there are professionals that will help you and benefit you, and there's realtors that they wouldn't even know what is per square foot.
Yes, it's crazy.
How do they pass their exam?
Yeah.
It's true. It's just like I said, and in our business, the good realtors that are out there are not scared to lose a listing over telling you the truth. It's not like I can say for me, it's not about the commission. I'm in this business because I love real estate. I love to help people. If I can't help you, why would I work with you?
Exactly. That's a great point. And you know what? This is the reason why both of you guys are the executive board for 2025 for NAREP Greater Las Vegas, because you guys take the real estate side over the commission. And literally, that's what we want to educate our members on. You know what? Yes, it's great to make money. We could make money. That's not a problem. But let's be professionals about the real estate side of it. And sometimes you just got to walk away from a listing and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to put myself and put yourself in that scenario. Then 3 weeks from now, we're going to be arguing about, I told you should lower your price. It is not worth it, right, Vikki?
Yes, it really, really isn't. And like I said, a realtor that cares about what they're doing and them helping you, they're going to be honest with you. And they're going to tell you, look, these are the numbers. I will put them right in front of you.
Right.
Okay. This is the last time a property in this area sold for this much. It's not happening.
Right.
So just, when you're out there looking, what Claudia says, shop around. I can tell you, I lost a listing to an agent that said, I'll take 1% commission. They're like, oh, okay. And I was like, that's fine if they're going to do that. And that's the choice that you want to make. I kid you not. This seller has called me and asked me, how do I get out of my contract with this agent?
Yes.
Because, it's always about value, commissions, like I said, are not a big deal. It's about the value that we're going to give you. And if I'm not going to do my job, I don't want your listing.
Yes.
If I can't do it, you want a certain color of something and I can't do it or find it, I'm going to, maybe Claudia can find it,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and pass it on.
Yeah.
It's about the help and the service.
It's definitely ethics. You know, that's why like it's very important in anything you do in life. And in this board, I mean, it's ethics. It's like we have to respect and trust each other that we're gonna do the right thing.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's pretty much what, you know, it comes down to ethics.
Perfect.
Right, and it does, and that's why, you know, with being a part of the executive board, you know, we lead by example. You know, you guys know, because I've been, you know, fortunate enough to be a president a second year. Fortunate enough. Very honored about it.
Right.
But it's about respecting your board. It's about trusting, but leading by example. I would never ask anybody on the board to do something I wouldn't do.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just like, that's why I'm excited for this year. I keep saying it. Our team is fire.
We're gonna be in the White House.
Yes. And actually, we are going to be walking around.
We're gonna be in
you
the
know,
White
we're going to be
House.
walking around in the
Capitol.
Latinas
Capitol.
in the White House. I'll take my passport just in case.
That's funny. That's funny. Well, ladies, you know what? It's 11:03. The time has flown by. Really, I really appreciate you guys. One more time. For the real estate professionals out there, and I'm putting it up in the screen right now, we have our Building Wealth Without Borders Immigration and Real Estate workshop, which is going to be on April the 10th. Please stay tuned. We're going to go ahead and start putting the link so you can register. You don't want to miss this event.
Oh, and it's a free event.
Yes, it is a free event. So you don't
Absolutely.
have to pay. It's going to be great information. And it's always, you know, great to be surrounded yourself by a good, you know, organization. There's a lot of organizations out there, but we believe that, you know, right now what we're doing is, you know, putting the right topics in the know. So, you know, Vikki, if I could please have you give me again your name, your last name, the company you work with, your phone number, how they can reach out to you, and one little quick tip before we sign off, please.
Okay, so that's Vikki Gonzalez with Win-Win Real Estate. Phone number is 818-294-5855. And the one little tip that I can give everyone for today and every day is, you know, be kind and kick ass.
There you go. I like that. I like that. Claudia, por favor, if I could give you, please.
Claudia Kilbride. I work at Love Las Vegas Realty. My cell phone number is 702-771-0696. And be kind. Haz el bien sin mirar a quién.
There we go. There we go. Well, my name is JC Castillo. You guys know that you guys could go ahead and get a hold of me outside of the air. And my phone number is 702-416-4302. 702-416-4302. Please remember, Mr. Buyer, Mr. Seller, you have the right to choose the title company. Do not let your agent choose for you. If you want us, Lawyers Title, to do the services for you, we would love to handle your transaction. Please, like Claudia and Vikki say, behave, be kind, take care of each other. But most of all, take care of your clients, because they're the ones that kind of go ahead and refer you out later on. So please be nice. We'll be here. We'll kind of have to do another show once we come back from Washington, D.C., so we could provide all the information. And I really love being part of NAREP. I love being part of the executive board with you ladies. And we'll be here, and I'll see you guys next time in the next show. All right. See ya.